inch of dirt in the California high desert is where an epic international battle is about to begin. America's top young motocross stars are looking to claim the hills of Glen, Helen and the AMA Series as their own. But the aggressors from across the sea come with world championship pedigree. This trio of talented imports is not used to losing and will be hard to beat. The best young motocross racers from around the world are set to drop the gate on round one of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross 250 Championship. From sunny Southern California, it's the opening round of the 2009 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship in the 250 class. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Glen Helen Raceway in San Bernardino, California. Jason Wygant joined by the four-time AMA National Motocross Champion David Bailey. And man, we are set for a great season. The sun is shining, the track is fast, the track is rough, the crowd is big. There's nothing quite like being here in the great outdoors.
I love to get outside, get some sun. You can move around a little bit more. In Supercross, it's always going to be a great vibe, but outdoors just changes so much more. They disappear from your view sometimes. You hear the crowd go nuts. You're like, what happened? There's 40 guys charging into the corner. You're closer to the action. You're getting roosted sometimes. And, man, there's so much more freedom to roam around, so much more to see, and a lot of talent this year in this class. I can't wait to get it started.
It's so hard to predict what's going to happen on the track this year. Confidence is a big part of this game, but most of these riders don't know where they stack up with each other because we've had a huge set of imports coming over from the European Motocross Championship Series. No one knows where they're really going to stack up with those guys.
And you can see that, too, when you look at the internet and some of the talk and you know, the hype for the race. I mean, nobody's going out and saying, I want to win. They're like, oh, I'll take a couple top fives or, you know, top three. It's difficult to make that prediction because guys don't know where they stack up against each other, even in the United States. But now you got these three Europeans come in, Searle, Rattray, and Purcell. Purcell already successful here. Rattray very fast. I've seen that out there myself. But Dungey wanted to make a statement and go, I've heard all about these Europeans. I've heard enough. Went out there and set the fastest time. So he is on fire already.
And Dungey is one of just several young Americans looking to defend this championship and keep it here in the States. Let's talk to some of the top American riders.
Taking one race at a time and just putting the whole season together. You know, I think had a little bit of ups and downs last year, but overall I think it was consistent. So try to look back at that and where we could go better and take from it and leave the rest.
It's important, you know, not to make big mistakes and throw motos away. So, you know, just as far as strategy, just good starts and, you know, try and stay up front and keep myself out of trouble.
Just to be strong and keep fighting every week. And I think my fitness is good, and I think that I'm a little bit more prepared for the outdoors. And I think just from last year I learned a lot, so this year that I'm looking forward to not make those mistakes.
The biggest thing, there's going to be a lot of guys out there that have a lot of really good speed, so just getting good starts and putting yourself in good positions, I think, is the key.
It's a lifelong dream for many riders from other countries to come here to the United States to race against the best riders in the world on the toughest circuit. We caught up with a couple of riders that are here, foreigners we call them, and found out what their objectives, what their goals are, and what it means to race here in the US of A.
Well, I had two goals in life. One was to go over to Europe and race a world championship and eventually fight for the championship and win the world title, and that's what I did last year. And another goal was to come here and race in America and hopefully this year clinch an outdoor title.
Oh, well, I always wanted to come. Like, ever since I was a kid, and I used to play video games and had the American riders on and whatnot, stuff like that. And then, yeah, I had a couple of good years in Europe, and then it was always my plan to come, so that was the time, and I thought, now, like, there's no better time than to come now. I could have stayed in Europe one more year and maybe took the title, but I didn't want to leave it too late because obviously Supercross is a big change and I want to learn that while I'm young and make sure I'm good at it as well.
I think he'll be on the box quite a bit this year. The only disadvantage he has is learning the tracks, but so does Tyler and so does Christophe Purcell. I think the American kids have a little bit of an advantage being that they've raced the tracks for a couple of years here, so it's going to take a little learning, but he does have the speed. He is used to the K-team. I think he is the person that can put it on the box for sure.
Most of the Europeans want to come to the United States, so I don't think that's, you know, like a have to be a world champion to come here, but I think it's a great goal for those kids to have, and And for us, I've looked at that when we've looked at guys from the past, whether it was Langston, Townley, Christoph, or Tyler.
Well, the stars are here from all over the world to pursue this 250 championship. And that means we're going to get great racing out on the racetrack. And what a racetrack we have here at Glen Helen. We'll have highlights for the first moto when we return on Speed. Welcome back to Glen Helen. It's our coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Jason Wygant and David Bailey here. We already have a fantastic first moto in the books from our 250 class. It was amazing. We figured it would be good, but I think somehow this managed to over-deliver, David.
Yeah, I think it was even better than what we expected. They get a great shot of Ryan Dungey right there, all colorful. Flanked by those factory connection Hondas. Barcia, the new kid, on one side, and Kennard on the other.
Gate drops on the first 250 moto of the season. They rush into Talladega first turn. It's the widest, steepest, fastest first turn in this game. And Tommy Searle on the inside of the KTM thinks he has the whole shot, but here comes the 24th Brett Metcalf and the 39 to put some pressure on. 39 is Trey Kennard. Kennard would get the lead. And Justin Barcia, a rookie in his first ever pro race, would immediately pass his teammate and end the first lap of his pro career in the lead.
You know, it's been a long time since we had a Ron Lachine or a Travis Pastrana or a Ricky Carmichael, but Barcia took off just like those guys. It was so strong out front. Although Dungey was putting in some solid moves and looking like he was in a rush to get up there and do something about this battle out front, it took him a little while, and Kennard's going, well, he's a rookie, Barcia that is, he'll mess up. He didn't. Yeah. He weathered a lot of storms. And you see there going to the inside, Kennard trying to make something happen. He kept trying to do stuff. Then all of a sudden you get Purcell in there and then Dungey, and you get this mix up.
This is unbelievable. Purcell runs it in on Kennard. Dungey takes advantage of both. Dungey moves into second. That puts Purcell in third, Kennard in fourth. And now another storm for the young rookie Justin Barcia to weather as Dungey puts the pressure on. But then Dungey picks a bad line trying to set up Barcia. That allows a very crafty 377 of Purcell, the Frenchman, back into the #2 spot.
Nice move right there, just to not get anything started that early in the series, and then catches Barcia a little bit by surprise. Barcia had been going more to the left right there, but that time he decided to get a run through that berm. Didn't realize that the crafty Frenchman was already there, and he just started checking out. Dungey got pretty close to him at one point, and made a little mistake of his own, and Purcell wins his first moto in the U.S.
Very impressive. Dungey second and Trey Kennard in third. So impressive ride there. And hey, we set the scene here for moto #2. It's going to be good. That's your results. It's going to be Tommy Searle fourth. Not bad for his debut, and Rattray finishes fifth. So they wanted to be in the top 5, the guys coming over from Europe, and that's exactly what they did. And remember, both motos count equally. So we'll re-rack it here for moto #2. Barcia, by the way, got 9th in that moto. Not bad for his debut, but it's Tuesday, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. Parade lap is just about to come to an end. So these guys know what the track is like. They know what they're facing after a great battle.
On the outside using raw hard on Honda, just drive ahead of Taylor, who gets on the grass. You see some hay bales here. He had to get off the throttle, and it was too late. Into the hay bales and
Championship. Jason Wygant and David Bailey here. We are ready for the second moto of the 250 class. A fantastic battle. I know we've said it over and over, but that first moto was amazing. So we're hoping it's just as good here in Moto 2. Let's go down to Aaron for a Progressive Race report.
Well, guys, a really quick update on Michael Hall, the number 164, who had that vicious crash over the finish line jump in that first moto. Good news, he's only broke 2 bones in his right hand, actually fractured them. So that's great news for Michael Hall.
That is great news. They had to red flag the start and restart Moto #1 because he was down. Good to hear he's okay. Regs are up, and we're going to drop the gate and go racing here in Moto 2 from Glen Helen. Big, long, wide start straight into the Talladega first turn. It's a KTM again on the inside. Tommy Searle again. And he's got one of his teammates, Martin Davalos, with him. So Davalos into the #1 spot. We didn't see Davalos at all in the first moto. Justin Barcia and Tyler Rattray right there. But right now, they don't sound so fast, but those muscle-built KTMs are definitely fast.
Yeah, they have an awkward sound to them, like they're on the rev limiter, but they're working. And Barcia,
working through those ruts.
He's going, I'm faster than these guys. But get me in the lead now. I know what I did wrong last time. That was a lot of pressure. Give me a break. I'm a rookie. Look at that.
Now that's the Justin Barcia we had heard about. Whenever he needs to go to make a pass, he will do it, and he passes both riders. So today is back out front again in Moto 2. And where are the riders that were up front at the end of Moto 1? Where's Dungey? Where's Porcel? Where's Canard? Barcia going to try to take advantage of this with Searle second. Davalos, Rattray coming through next.
Yeah, unless Rattray or Searle, I think those guys have a little bit more than Davalos, but I don't know if they've got enough for that kid out front. I mean, Barcia's just amazing. You wind him up and he goes as fast as he can until something happens. And right now he's going, okay, I got the experience now of what it's like to be out front. I'm used to that. Give me another shot at and I'll show you what happens this time.
This is unbelievable what he has done in his first pro race. Led 20 minutes of the first moto. He cracked a bit down the stretch and ended up 9th. But that's what we're talking about with Justin Barcia throwing the bike completely sideways and then barely able to pull it back. He uses every inch of the racetrack. He hangs on that throttle cable. It's amazing to watch this guy ride.
Yeah, don't worry about going into the sun or anything with the glare or the fact that they watered the takeoff of that jump. Just throw it around. He's so aggressive and so much fun to watch. I mean, it's a little bit like Stewart or Carmichael, to where they just put so much into it and ride so fast that they're bound to get squirrely and out of shape once in a while, which we've already seen a couple times from him. But look at the lead already. Yeah. And Rattray's probably like, where'd he go?
I thought we just started this race. How could the leader already be this far away? It's a pair of dueling KTMs in second and third with Tommy Searle and Martin Davalos, and then Rattray right there behind them. Now, we had talked quite a bit about the European riders. We're talking about the riders that raced in Europe, Searle, the Englishman, and the South African rider, Rattray. They race a little bit different style over there. They don't go as fast early in the race. They bring it on late. So we'll see whose strategy works out better here.
Well, I'm pretty much in favor of this strategy right here.
Giant lead in the first lap is good, you say?
Well, look, he drops down the hill. Where's everybody? I mean, the fans are probably like, I like this kid, you know? And Damon Bradshaw came into it, and, you know, he's from back east and fast and, you know, pretty confident, talking big and backing it up. When the kid is confident and some people are maybe a little jealous or not really digging all that, and he's backing it up like this, I mean, if you can't beat him, join him, you know?
And it says on the back of his pants, the rookie. No doubt about it, although the only ones that can read that are the folks watching the show, because the riders, they're already out of the picture. They cannot see the back of the 151. So Justin Barcia, it might have been mental fatigue in the first moto, because obviously he's got some energy left in the tank here for Moto 2.
Yeah, he's young enough. He's completely recovered. You know, these guys don't get tired. And he's been doing long motos back east and heat and all that stuff. I don't think it's going to be a physical thing as much as a mental thing of just how big this moment is and what he's actually doing right now. If that catches up with him like it did in the first moto, which the pressure helped, you know, make it worse on him, but right now he doesn't have any.
It's the rematch of the MX2 World Championship battle from a year ago. Tommy Searle in second, Tyler Rattray in third. And you got Canard finally on the scene here, battling with his teammate Brett Metcalf inside the top 5. Then it's Porcel, Davalos, and Dungey. So Porcel and Dungey have the work cut out for them. You've got to get through a lot of riders. But you see the clock at the top of the screen. We are less than 5 minutes into a 30-minute plus 2-lap battle out here, so plenty of time. Look at Canard and Metcalf wheel to wheel on those Geico Power Sports Hondas.
Oh, Rattray's, you know, familiar territory as far as looking up ahead. There's Searle.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yep, nice move. Doubling down the hill. Yeah. It's so hard to do that and still make this corner down at the bottom. When you're on it takes a lot of nerve to go for that at this point, because the braking bumps are like jumps now, and it's really hard to get into that corner. So yeah, you can double into the corner, but if you blow the turn, you might as well roll the double. So the guys that are going for that are really confident and in a big hurry.
Canard is in a hurry. He actually just went around Rattray also, so that's 2 passes in a short amount of time. And again, we mentioned the sprint style of the young American riders. There's Rattray trying to fight back, but at the moment, Canard is the one on the move. Let's see if Rattray can pay him back at the top of this hill. He'll be on the inside. He's a big, strong guy. If Canard comes together with him, I would put my money on Rattray, but Canard was able to edge in front of him. And here comes Rattray going to challenge him again. There are multiple lines in this corner, but everyone chooses that inside berm. Back
drag
to the top
race
we go.
up
It's
the
a drag
hill.
race. Yeah, exactly. Rattray again, David. Go to the inside. Wants that spot back.
Yeah, he fought for it. You know, it's so difficult when you pass somebody and think, okay, well, that's that. Okay, next. And the guy gets you back like Rattray just did. Now Kennard's like, shoot, I'm probably not going to be able to get him in the same spot again. He's not going to let that happen. So now I got to make something else. It throws you off.
And remember, they have 2 motos out here that are scored equally to determine an overall winner. Kennard with a 3rd in the first moto, but he's leading the 2 riders that finished in front of him. So he has an outside shot at winning this thing overall for the day. But he's got to get around this stubborn South African Tyler Rattray on the 411. Metcalf is right there. And that crafty Frenchman, Christophe Pourcel. See the green fender now creeping his way into the screen. He's watching all this. He'd like to take advantage if either of these guys slow each other up or make mistakes. Here he comes.
Well, it might be a little bit too early to talk about Barcia winning this moto, but since he's nowhere in our picture because he's gone, all these guys are battling for the overall, and they don't have to beat Barcia. Barcia finished 9th in the first moto, so if Pourcel...
Oh, a mistake on the inside. That was a rough line. That line got deeper and deeper and deeper. That was Metcalf that made a mistake. So that's a little bit of a gap. The Pro Circuit people, they want to see what Rattray can do. We'll be right back after this. The battle continues here at Glen Helen Raceway in San Bernardino. Jason Weigandt and David Bailey giving you the call. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the 250 class. Look at this action. Ryan Dungey has made moves. He is now up to the number 4 spot. Then you've got Kennard and Metcalf. And dropping back a little bit is Pourcel in the 377. Don't go back too far. Get your teammate, Austin Stroop, on his rear wheel. So while all this goes on, you've got Tommy Searle all alone in 2nd and Justin Barcia out front. So we're going to stay with this battle. This is unbelievable right now. Pourcel needs to make moves. He won the first moto. He wants to win the overall. Battling with Metcalf, the Australian who was going to challenge Pourcel for a Supercross championship, but he broke his collarbone, didn't have the opportunity. And now Stroop going after Pourcel. Stroop, the teammate of Pourcel, he also got the short end of the stick against Pourcel in their battle for a Supercross title. He's got revenge on the mind. Stroop downhill on the outside. Can he make it work around the 377? It's a long way around for Stroop, and it didn't work.
He made a good choice there. He wasn't going to get into that inside berm, and he tucked right into the second one and still railed through there. Didn't lose that much time. Still in contact with this group. What a group. Jeez. Yeah. But these guys are 10 seconds behind Barcia.
Now, it looked like Pourcel was putting himself in the position he needed to be in before he went to break, but some of the other riders have been able to get back around him. He's got to do it Metcalf and Kennard and Dungey, and now his teammate Stroop right behind him. So they're going to have to reset the game a little bit for Pourcel. Tommy Searle still in the number 2 spot. So the question is, he can stay up there. He might have an outside shot at this overall win. We're really going to have to scramble, smoke the calculators, do the math, and determine who's going to win this race overall. Barcia in the lead, 9th in Moto 1. He's out there. Here we go. Ryan Dungey has caught Tommy Searle. This is a battle for the number 3 spot. And Rattray, is that Rattray now in front of Searle? So Searle starting to lose some momentum. Rattray's gotten around him, and here comes Dungey trying to take over 3rd.
A little bit better effort from Searle though this moto than the first moto. He got dropped pretty early. This time he's staying in contact, and Rattray beat him in the World Championship, so it's looking kind of like how it turned out over there in Europe. But yeah, he's got a lot of company now. Here comes Dungey and the Honda guys and Pourcel, and you know, I don't think that Stroop was very happy with how things turned out in the first moto. He didn't get that great a start, and a little mishap during a restart, and kind of messed him up a little bit, messed up his concentration perhaps. So he's really trying to kind of save face this moto and come back out and ride like he knows he can. And last year's winner, and that wasn't a very impressive first moto. He's the caboose of this big train, pushing this all pretty fast.
Yeah, Stroop 13th in Moto number 1. Meanwhile, Dungey 2nd in Moto 1, going after 3rd here in Moto 2, trying to get around the young Englishman, Tommy Searle. Rattray has quietly climbed up to the number 2 spot. Remember, just a few laps ago, he was battling with Trey Kennard. He not only repassed Kennard, he's put major distance between himself and the rest of this field. So we'll see if Rattray can close the gap on Barcia. It is 8 seconds between the 2nd place rider and the leader. Barcia has checked out. Dungey still trying to find a way around Searle. A couple of the Geico Power Sports Honda boys right there behind Dungey, trying to follow suit. Amazing racing in this 250 class.
You know, it's a little too early right now, but in another few laps, riders actually start doing a little of that math. Okay. You know, they don't have the luxury of calculators like we do, but they start going, wait, let's see, he got that. So, you know, and you start thinking about the long-term series, and then you start thinking about the overall win and who you really don't need to take chances to pass and who you need to hold off. So these guys will start managing their efforts, I think, a little bit as we get a couple laps deeper into this race. Right now, they're all going for it still.
Well, Dungey needs to make up 4 points on the first moto winner, Porcel, to win the overall. That would mean he needs to put a couple riders between him, basically, to win this thing. And he has his opportunity as he's leaning on the 123 of Searle. But wait a minute. Coming up short on that jump is Dungey. And here comes a very persistent Trey Kennard and Brett Metcalf. They're not going to let Dungey get away. One mistake on this very rough racetrack that's very easy to make mistakes on, and the battle completely changes. So now Dungey has to deal with Kennard instead of Dungey trying to get around Searle.
Look at how gnarly, technical, difficult. Everywhere around this track, there's something that is just a problem for these guys. And they're tired at this point, you know. We're getting about halfway into this thing, and they've already got a moto under their belt. It's a little later in the day than usual. They're getting a rougher track in the 450s. And, man, these guys are amazing athletes, and the speed that I'm seeing from these guys and the fact that there's so many of them pushing the pace so hard, these guys are not, there's no comfort zone. You know, there could be at a little late in the race when things start to settle, but there's so much competition this year, I don't think things are ever really going to settle that much. I mean, Barcia, you think, well, he can cruise out front, but not really, because Rattray is trying to close that.
Yeah, we know Rattray can go all day long. That guy is in unbelievable shape, so he's not going to let Barcia off the hook down the stretch. Meanwhile, here comes Dungey working his way through the sand section. Yet another section where you absolutely cannot rest. There's no way to get through that smoothly. The bike has just slapped down landings. So far, Searle able to withstand this challenge from Dungey, but for how long? The battle for third, Kennard and Metcalf right behind. You have a feeling that this is just the calm before the storm. I think we're going to have even more action a little bit later in this race. Meanwhile, still got that rookie out front. Can he hang on? Justin Barcia leading. You've got Tyler Rattray second in a tremendous battle for third. Stay with us. Awesome racing out here in Southern California. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Tommy Searle on the inside. Ryan Dungey on the outside. Dungey, that was a surprising pass. He just worked his way around Searle. So that will put Dungey up into third. Super rough racetrack. The line just worked a little bit. Oh, Dungey hooked up in that rut. They're battling. Let's show how Dungey was able to make this pass.
Well, just Searle got a little bit high side of there off balance, and Dungey just had a great run around the outside, clears the whole top, finally gets a little chance to breathe and pulls the tear off. He messed up at the bottom of the hill, lost it again, and then squared him back up. So the triple pass, all this going on behind Barcia, he don't care. He's just going, this is so fun. I love nationals.
He probably looks exactly the same under the helmet right now as he does in that photo. He's smiling, got the long hair that barely be held behind the goggles when he's down in the starting line. This kid is having a great time, and he's completely clean. You wouldn't even realize that he's been out here on one of the roughest motocross racetracks in all of the world. However, the lead that was very big early isn't quite as big now as we reach the 20-minute mark again in the second moto. Remember, that's the part in the first moto where the riders finally broke through and got him, but the lead is substantially bigger now for Barcia than it was before. In fact, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was. We figured Rattray would just put his head down and close in, but hasn't quite happened yet.
Well, he's close enough to get by him by the end of the race. There's enough time left for him to close that gap, but Barcia's going to have to fall apart. He's going to have to get tired or just really fall apart and start making mistakes, maybe some bad decisions through lappers. These guys aren't gaining enough with the time remaining. It would be close if they kept gaining like they have been, but Barcia has really changed between motos and gone, okay, yeah, I got that one out of the way. I was nervous. I know I'm a rookie, but what an improvement between motos. It's shown a lot more maturity. If he hangs on to this moto, finishes even in the top three, they're going to take that rookie patch off of you.
Yes, that could be the rookie. And maybe put fast learner on the back of his pants. Here is South African Rattray in second. Now Dungey beginning to get a hook into Rattray, and that might also work in the favor of Barcia. These two get to battling. Well, you got to assume that'll only slow them up. So we'll see who catches who first. Will Rattray go after Barcia? Will Dungey go after Rattray? We do know this. Only 20 minutes into a 30-minute plus 2-lap moto. Something is going to happen before this is over. They're not going to cruise and finish.
That was a nice shot, too, to see exactly the gap. as they went through the mechanics area, back around into the sand section. And, you know, Rattray's, he can smell a win. He's going, okay, this kid kind of messed up the first moto. I ought to be able to get him by the end and win a moto. And 5-1 wouldn't be too bad. Dungey's going, if I can get by Rattray, that might be the one extra guy I need to get between myself and Purcell to win the overall. Both these guys very motivated. So's Barcia out front going, I want to win my first moto ever. A lot of motivation going on up front. I think that's why they pulled away from this group.
Metcalf has gotten around his teammate Kennard and is now going after Tommy Searle, the 123 KTM versus the 24 Honda. So Metcalf and Kennard, who are battling the whole time, for the moment, it's Metcalf at the front of that group. And then you got the dueling Kawasaki's of Purcell, your first moto winner, and Austin Stroop. And perhaps no better indicator of how deep this field is. Purcell wins Moto 1. He is stuck in 7th in Moto 2. That's how close these riders are on speed. And that means that Ryan Dungey would win the overall if they finish where they are right now. But with Dungey looking at the back of Tyler Rattray, I don't think he's done in 3rd place. You know he wants to make up more positions, maybe go for the moto win. Look at this exchange here as Metcalf pulls up alongside Tommy Searle. It's wheel to wheel on the fastest part of this racetrack.
Searle just gave him a look. He's not going to let you round the outside. You might get me, but you're not going to get me here. He didn't have to make that dirty either. He just went where he should have gone to hold on to his position. Purcell really needs to get with it. I don't know if he's trying to be cool here and make the move late, but he might be running out of time to do something like that. The other thing to keep in mind is he had some blood coming off his collarbone on the right side where he got smacked with a rock and was kind of grimacing about that after the first moto. That could be bothering him a little bit, but I would kind of think that at this point in the race, you're thinking more about what you got to do instead of pain.
Looks like Stroop has gotten around Purcell. Meanwhile, Dungey going to work his way to get by Rattray for 2nd. So Dungey hooked up and flying now late in this moto, 22 minutes in, and he's going after Rattray. So it's supposed to be the other way around. We thought the American kids would be strong early. The guys that came over from Europe would be strong late. They've reversed it here. Big swap by Rattray in the downhill. Will that give Dungey the edge he needs? He tries to nudge back underneath. Past the mechanics area, 2 completely different lines. The left-hand sweeper that'll lead them to the finish line. Dungey goes outside, could not find a berm to hook his front wheel into. So for the moment, Rattray able to withstand the challenge from Dungey, but for how long? And meanwhile, as the clock ticks, Justin Barcia, that leader up front looks better and better and better.
Yeah, but these guys are closing. They're battling so much, and we're thinking, well, it could be that in the favor of Barcia, but it's been the other way around. These guys are pushing so hard, yep. Okay, and Purcell is out of the picture. Stroop's gotten around him now, and he doesn't have a chance at the overall anymore.
So it's Dungey's overall to win or lose, but I don't think he cares about that. He wants to get around Rattray. He knows this could be valuable championship points somewhere down the road as we move towards Steel City at the conclusion of this series. Look at Dungey trying every line and then taking a big face full of roots.
There's enough time left for Dungey to experiment around, and even if it's a line that...
A big swap for the leader, Barcia. They have caught him now, so I think you're right, David.
Dungey made the same mistake, yeah, but Dungey's, you know, when he went wide in the mechanics area and tried a few things, he should. He's trying to rattle Rattray a little bit.
And with the gap he's dealing with now, he's got plenty of time to try to work his way around them. It's going to be good, the conclusion of the race. Stay tuned here on Speed. In that Lucas truck, just like it's amazing what Ryan Dungey has been able to do here. Dispose of Tyler Rattray for 2nd, and now go after Justin Barcia for the lead. Now past the 25-minute mark. Barcia made it 5 minutes further than he did leading Moto number 1. How much longer can he hang on? Dungey has been the man on the move in the second half of this race.
Good drive up over the top of that hill to clear the whole thing. But he's been about this close to Barcia, and Barcia's doing a much better job this time. He's not looking as shaky as he was in the first moto, where it was like you could just see it. You could almost feel for the kid, like, oh no, it's coming, and it's not going to be one guy. It's going to be all 3 of them. It happened all at once through the section we just came through. But Dungey, pretty strong. Still doubling down into that corner, picks up about 4 or 5 bike lengths.
Yeah, there's no doubt into it. Exactly. He's going to be motivated by that. There's no doubt of the fitness of Dungey, who actually trains at Ricky Carmichael's house. He's part of Camp Carmichael, along with Ivan Tedesco, races in the 450 class. Here is Dungey shading to the inside a bit on Barcia. 3, maybe 4 laps left in this race. So Dungey spent a couple of laps experimenting with lines. He's going to have to put one to work here before long. Barcia's not making it as easy on these guys as he was in the first one. Once they finally got to him and got around him, he kind of packed up the tent. But this time, I don't know if it's going to be quite the same. Let's see Dungey try an inside line here. Just still experimenting a bit.
I get the sense, though, that Dungey's kind of like, okay, I don't have to worry about Rattray anymore. He's back there, but he's not close enough to really bother me if I make a mistake trying to make something happen to get around Barcia. And although Barcia still looks pretty good, holding him off, still about the same gaps he had the last lap, I just get the sense that Dungey's going, there's enough time left. I'm going to get him. I'm just not going to rush him.
Okay, maybe just dribbling the ball off the court, setting up the offense. We'll see what move he decides to make to score the points here. Dungey already has the overall in his hand if he stays here, because our first moto winner, Christophe Pourcel, is struggling. Now the number 8 position. So he'll go 1-8. So Barcia not looking too shabby right now. He'd be looking at a 9-1. But to get the 1 here in the second moto, he's going to have to hold Dungey off. And there are still 2 minutes to go in this race. So we're looking at possibly 3 more laps, maybe 4, probably 3. Either way, that's going to be a long, long couple of laps for Barcia with Dungey right here. But Barcia will fight you side by side. And Barcia does fight. He actually holds him off. Now he looks over, and he's going to try to cover the inside. Doesn't cover it enough. Here comes Dungey. Now it's that drop-down left-hander. Whose line is better? The outside or the inside? And Barcia comes all the way over and crosses. Dungey was ready for it. He goes back to the inside.
Okay, now he's made Dungey mad. Guaranteed. Dungey's like, okay, I was kind of being cool. It's not cool anymore. You know, I mean, you can't blame Barcia for wanting to cut over there and try to hang on to the lead, but he really crossed over, and Dungey's going, all right. It's going to be nice and everything, but...
So much for the patience.
Yeah. But you know, Barcia's fast, and the thing when somebody starts doing that to you, you're kind of a little more nervous about where you're going to make the pass, because like, this kid going to cross in front of me again, and so it will make him a little more nervous, but if he gets a chance to shove a wheel in there, he's going to do it. This may be the spot.
Leaping downhill is Dungey to the inside. And that's what he needed, a clean pass, because he had the overall in his hands. Didn't want to get into one of those battles with Barcia, and he's not going to. So unless Barcia can somehow rally back here, Ryan Dungey has played this thing perfectly late in the moto. He has moved from just inside the top 5 to the number 1 position. And with that, he will be the overall winner on the day if he can hang on to this. There's Barcia still getting all kinds of stylish
so
the number 2 spot.
Dungey's in control. He's solid. He's doing what I think he expected to do. He's doing what I thought he was going to do after watching the practices. Now I'm kind of curious what's going to happen here with Barcia. Is he going to keep it together and hold Rattray off or not? I don't know. Rattray looks like he's trying to make one last little push, and I'll be real impressed if Barcia can hold him off. Rattray is not messing around. The guy's strong. He's been around. He's a world champion.
Here we go, the top of the hill again, and now back down to the bottom. Looked like Barcia tried to give Dungey a run for a few corners, and the feet came off the pegs in those super deep ruts. A few more mistakes there. Barcia did not want to let Dungey get away, but with all the mistakes he has made trying to keep Dungey in sight. Another one there is the rear wheel broke loose, and to go past the mechanics area, I've got to think that now he's going to have to worry about Rattray more than he can work on Dungey.
I think Rattray's going to get it.
Yeah, you think Rattray's going to get it? Well, certainly Rattray, like you said, can go all day. He's got the endurance down the stretch.
Well, he's solid. He's not making some mistakes that are like, whoa, that was a close one. You know, Barcia's had 3 or 4 of those just this lap. So that's going to wear him out a little bit and cause him to go, you know, why throw away a second place? You know, I mean, 3rd isn't bad. If Rattray puts enough pressure on, it's up to Rattray right now. He's got to apply the pressure in order to make that pass. If he lets him just have a little bit of breathing room, Barcia will hold on to it.
4-1-1 of Rattray. Closing in further on Barcia. Here's that section where Barcia and Dungey almost came together. Barcia pops out of that rut. I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
That's the line he's been taking, so I'll give him a little bit, but still, that was pretty close.
Yeah, exactly. Rattray stayed in that run, and that was awfully difficult as well. There really aren't any smooth lines left.
It's the glare. You can see the shadows everywhere, so going up some of these hills, it's really tough to see. Searle, I'm not sure if it was just for the water on the track they anticipated in early laps or not, maybe the glare, but he had a little extra piece of lens taped to the front of his visor, probably to help him with the glare.
just when we thought Ryan Dungey had this thing tucked away, we look and see that Barcia and Rattray are not that far back, and the Glen Helen fans sense that. We've got 3 riders within the final 2 laps of this race duking it out for the win. And this was after a fantastic battle in Moto 1.
Barcia just shook his hand a little bit, like maybe he's getting a little tight. That typically happens early in the race. I don't know if he what he was doing exactly right there. It would just be a guess. But what I do like is that, you know, you said earlier, fast learner. He took that inside into that corner. He hasn't been doing that, and that's where he got past. Rattray on his tail, he moved over to the inside just to make sure he wasn't going to get past there again.
And he still looks good coming down that down. It's fun to watch. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if it's any faster to scrub the bike like that. Here we go, racing back uphill. Well, that's what the kid's all about, right? If you're going to be under this kind of pressure, at least try to enjoy it. Rattray to the inside. Rattray, remember, was battling with Trey Kennard through that line a little earlier in the race. Could not make it work on Barcia either. One of the steep downhills, and Barcia goes all the way wide. I don't think that's going to work.
Well, he knew that he didn't cook the corner at the top enough, didn't gas it down the hill enough. And I just was saying that the only way Rattray was going to make the move is he's going to have to really apply the pressure. Barcia felt it and just got out of the way.
So Barcia looking at a 9-3. Not a bad first day at the races. And, you know, both times here, Rattray not immediately yarding him. Barcia trying to learn from him. Barcia did the same thing when Dungey got around him. But that little exchange they had there has allowed Dungey to pull away. And we are now on the final lap here at Glen Helen. Ryan Dungey did not quite have the first moto he was looking for, but in the end, he's going to emerge as the overall winner.
Really strong performance from him. I listened to him on an interview on the radio about a week ago, and it just kind of sense that he didn't want to brag, but he's pretty confident, pretty sure of himself. Learned a lot last year, got that title, sort of the monkey off his back, a lot of people may feel, and riding with a lot more maturity. He's on a good team. You know, Chad Reed is so happy to be on that team. Same team here for Ryan. And, you know, having Chad Reed on the team as well, it's always nice to have teammates that are maybe a little bit ahead of you in some ways, that you can just pick up little things here and there. And this kid's very observant, and it's showing right now. He deserved this win. He earned it. He had to ride hard for it, assuming that he hangs on. It's looking good right now.
Go back a few years ago, Ryan Dungey was a B rider. He was a solid amateur, but not outstanding. The team manager, the Suzuki squad, Roger DeCoster and Ricky Carmichael, saw something special. They decided to bump him up. He skipped the expert level as an amateur altogether. They moved him straight up to the pro ranks, and I'll tell you what, there were a lot of people wondering why Suzuki made that decision, but here we are a few years later. Dungey going to win the first round of this series, already has delivered a Supercross championship for them in the lights division this year. So whatever DeCoster and Carmichael saw in this guy a few years ago, well, everyone sees it now. Ryan Dungey has, at least for one weekend, held off all the competition from across the pond.
Yeah, he still had a 3-digit number, I think. He's in Suzuki commercials and stuff, and I'm like, boy, they really know something here, and they're right. You know, Roger's a good judge of talent, and he's a great guy to have on your team developing motorcycles, and you know, he's the man. 5-time world champion, and as a rider, you want to go out there and ride well. I mean, it's almost like your dad. You know, Roger, I think, demands a kind of respect and effort from the guys that are on his team, and Dungey is he's got the shoulders to support all that pressure and hype and deliver.
So Dungey putting the final few corners together here at Glen Helen. We're only going to get a 1-week break. We'll be back at it at Hangtown in Northern California 1 week from today. So make sure you check out the action on Steve from Hangtown as well. And with the way this 250 class shaped up, you can bet we're in for more great racing like this at Hangtown. But Glen Helen, it's history. Checkered flag is out. Ryan Dungey has done it. He wins the moto. He wins the overall. He's headed to the podium. We'll be back after this to talk to our winner. Welcome back to Glen Helen. This moto is history, and we're going to take a look at the results from it. Geico.com unofficial top 10 results. Dungey, Rattray, and Barcia on the podium in his second pro moto ever. Searle, a very consistent, solid day. Christophe Pourcel goes 1-7 on the day. Good, but I'm sure he wanted to follow that first moto win up with another in Moto 2. Let's go down to Aaron with our winner.
Well, there's only one step to go from the first moto, a second, and he takes the victory here for the overall victory. Ryan, obviously this is a big moment for you. Not only did the track change for that second moto, but the shadowing with the sun as well. How much did that affect your ride?
A lot. You know, I came in down the whole shot and I was like, oh, I was blind there for a second, but didn't get the best to start. Got to work on that, but I feel like there's more room to improve, and that's what I'm satisfied with. You know, we got the win today, and that was the goal, but I feel like we can get it more under control. And track was rough today, man. We really proved to everybody we got the fitness, but super pumped on the day.
Take us through any kind of battles that took place on the track. Were you battling against Barcia at one point?
To be honest with you, I got behind Barcia. We were battling a couple turns, and I was able to make the pass stick, which was good, because the passing was tough on this track, just because you felt like you make a mistake. But I was in 10th in the beginning, I heard, and I was just trying to work my way through the pack, and super pumped. Feels good to get the win and start it off right.
Way to pick your way through the pack. Congratulations on your victory.
All right, Ryan Dungey, pumped on that. It'll be a rematch, though, 1 week from now at Hangtown. We'll be back to talk to the rest of our podium when we return. Welcome back to Glen, Helen. The racing is over, but we're going to go back and look at just how intense this race was with a progressive whole shot replay, David.
You see Tommy Searle just using all kinds of body English to try to stay in a rut, just every little advantage he could get. Pulls the whole shot, and he's got his teammate Martin Davalos, I mean, it's right there. Those KTM's fast. And Purcell and those guys kind of buried back in the pack and blinded by the glare. It was a tough one.
Let's go back down to Aaron.
Justin Barcia might be the rookie coming in here, but he made a statement, that's for sure. Justin, a lot of people kind of confuse you for either being cocky, but is it just confidence that soars?
Yeah, I'm definitely not cocky. It's all confidence. I'm so happy right now.
What does this mean to you? This is your very first outdoor national that you've ever rode, and you were up front for a majority of this race.
Yeah, you know, I ran up front, got a great start, and it's incredible to be up here. I'm so happy. I'm up here with world champions and champions, so it's incredible.
An overwhelming feeling. Congratulations.
Justin Barcia, third place in his second professional moto. Look at the overall, Dungey, Purcell, and Rattray, but you see how close all these guys are on points. That sets the table for a great championship tour. Barcia ends up 6th overall in his first race. We go back down on the podium with Aaron.
Well, we've got another new face down here, Tyler Rattray, a former Moto World Champion. What does this mean to you to be up here on the podium? This was a lifelong dream of yours to race here in America.
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good. I mean, I haven't raced in 6 months, so to get up here on the podium feels really great. And I mean, I still feel my physical condition not 100%, but I mean, only time will tell for it to get better. And I'm really looking forward to the next few rounds. I mean, I really like the track here, Glen, Helen, and just want to thank the guys from One State Energy, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, the guys from Thor, Pots Unlimited, Bridgestone, I mean, everyone. Thanks.
Awesome racing. It perhaps over-delivered. We knew this 250 class would be deep. Man, it's going to be a great season. We'll be covering it all year on Speed. Go to speedtv.com for more info. For Aaron Bass and David Bailey, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.